Essentially Encouraging with Betty. Today I'm going to go into more detail on how to bulk cut to make multiple of these. These are the coasters. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that one on how to make it. Today all I'm going to talk about is how to cut out to make many at one time. So what you will need for today is your 5x5 cutout. This is just out of poster board. So 5x5, 5 inches by 5 inches. Or if you have one of these quilting rulers, I highly recommend them. They are amazing. And a self-healing mat. If you don't have a self-healing mat, then you will definitely need to use scissors. So these are really nice scissors, heavy duty, but you can use any fabric scissors that you have around the house. And then, but if you're going to use the self-healing mat and the quilting ruler, then I recommend a rotary cutter, and we'll be demonstrating that today as well. So again, welcome to Essentially Encouraging with Betty, where there's encouragement with every stitch. The first thing we want to do, now if you're using brand new fabrics, it's super easy. You just line them up and you go to town cutting. But I'm using scraps, so we kind of have to do a little bit to them to have them ready. So I've ironed, at least a quick iron on all of them at this point. But look, this one's cut right in the middle. So we definitely need to straighten this guy up and make it easier for matching with other materials. So notice where any cuts are. We've got this one and this one. So if I cut straight across here, I would still have this that I would have to pay attention to. So I am going to cut straight across here for my first cut. But then I'm going to come down and cut here. That wasn't very straight, was it? Straighten that up a little bit. There we go. So with this, I'm gonna get this little corner off. And this really, and if you're a quilter, you can use these for piecing quilts together. And so we have this area that is very usable. Now, will this one do a 5x5? It will. So in this, I'm going to go ahead and just do one. This isn't really bulk cutting, is it? But this is helping get it lined up to where I can bulk cut easier. So this pin is a fabric pin that will go away when I put heat to it. So when I iron it, you won't be able to see that line anymore. And it came in a set with many different colors, so based on what your background is of what you need for it to show up. So blue is going to work just fine for this one. Are these butterflies adorable? All right, in a lot of things of what you sew, you have to make sure you don't get the salvage edge in it. But in this, in the coasters, it really doesn't matter because the salvage is this white part on the back side. And when you fold it over, you can just make sure that's down and not being seen, because it'll be in the seam, and it won't be an issue. So in doing coasters, it's fine if you have the salvage end on one end. With this one, it's like a big T, so I'm just going to cut off the sides and have it be 3 pieces that I can more easily stack together. So try to line this up straight as I can with the line that's already here from where I've cut it before. All right, there's that one. I'll do this side. Line it up with where I've cut before. All right, so now we have 3 rectangles or squares. That will make it easier to line up. All right, this one. I'm going to cut it. See, it's got a little cut on both sides already, so I'm going to use that little cut I've already started as my starting off point for this one. Didn't catch at the top, did it? There we go. So that's one big square for that one. And again, since it already has a cut here, I'm going to try to get it lined up on my grid. See, this is a straight line, so go ahead and get it lined up. And you can see where my cut is. If I can get it raised up, there's my cut. So I'm going to cut straight across there. So how do you know that it's straight? Well, you line up this edge with these blue lines. So this is on the edge of this blue line. And then where you want to cut, you make sure the ruler is lined up with these blue lines. And if it's straight on here, it's going to be a straight cut. You can also line it up with the bottom. All right. And I move it as I try to do it. Try not to do that. Try to hold it down good and tight. Sometimes it's easier to stand up and do it too. And I'm trying to not be in the way so that the camera can pick it up. If I was standing over it, you wouldn't be able to see it too well, would you? All right. I don't think I can get a 5 by 5 out of any of this. Well, actually I can. That little piece right there, can't I? All right, with how dark this is, it'll be easier for me to see the marking if I turn it over. So I'm going to turn it on the back side, line up my edges. And then take my blue pen, mark where I need to. I'll have to check that out, make sure it's not cut too close to the square. All right, perfect. Look, can you see where that blue line is? And it was almost in the cut that was already existing, but it's perfect. It's not, so I can use it still. Now this is the beginning of May. I'm in Tennessee, and it has been unusually warm the end of April, and then it kind of cooled off. And even though it's May, summer's around the corner, I thought today is a perfect day for some chili. I've got some yummy chili in the crock pot, waiting for supper this evening, and I can't wait. It smells so good. The whole house smells like chili. I love it. What is your favorite chili day thing to cook or eat? All right, I think that one's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 and 5. So that is my 5-inch square right there. And that's how you use the rotary without having to use your template. That's how you use this quilting ruler. All right, I think I can get another one out of this. All right, 5 and 5. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we are ready to do the stacking. So this one is smaller than this one, right? So it's going to go on top. And I'm going to line up the edges. So make sure whatever edge you're going to start with that you've got it as squared as you can. So this one and this bottom one need to be squared up. All right, so edge to edge, edge to edge. All right, so what do I have next? If I take this one, it is smaller than this one on this edge. So we will put it on top of that one. And match up this corner again. Okay, so this edge and this edge need to be matched up. Don't worry about this anything further that way. Just make sure this edge and this edge are matched up. All right, and this one is smaller than that one. So again, this edge and this edge matched up. All right, that is probably as thick as I want to go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 layers currently. I'm going to start in this corner. I am going to stand up for this because of how thick it is. I got to put some leverage to it. All right. So again, we want to do our 5. There we go. We're going to do 5 across. And line it up as much as you can. Okay, so now we're going to cut all the way across. Okay, so all of these are going to be, this strip will be 5 inches. All the way across. So now, I know this sounds weird, but since I'm right-handed, I've got to flip it this way. Keep them all together. All right, now I'm going to do 5 inches this way. Make sure it stays straight. And that one came through clean. That's awesome. All right, so there's that one. All right, 5 inches again. See how fast this goes once you get them lined up. You got to get them squared up so that you can then do it. Now this one is not going to be 5 inches, so that one can get set to the side. This is why it's important to do the larger pieces on bottom and the smaller pieces on top. So you can see where it ends. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I got this end. There we go. Again, this one's not going to make the 5-inch mark, so we can go to the side. And now we're down to these two. Pull this back. Make sure everything is lined back up. So on this is not looking like it's going to meet the criteria. And it's not. It is too short now. So I'm going to pull that to the side because I can cut off part of it and it would work. And I've got enough to get a little bit more out of this one. All right, so we're going to do our 5 again all the way across. Flip that back. Again, I'm right-handed, so I like to cut from the right. So it needs to scoot just a tad over. Okay, so 5. 5 inches from this side. So we were what, at 18, 19, 20, 21. So now we have 21. This one's done. '21, '22, '23. '24, '25. '26, '27. All right, so I do still have this little piece left of this one. And then I've got this one. This one is a little bit bigger than this one, so we will put it on bottom. Put this one on top. All right, then we have this. This is bigger than both, so it will go on the bottom. Line up the, for me, I like to do the right side corners. Right side and bottom. So let's even do it one at a time to make it easier. And if they're not perfectly lined, it's not huge. Just want to make sure you have as close to the 5 by 5 as you can. You've got a little bit of leeway with the seam allowance, so got a little bit of a leeway. All right, I'm lining up with the middle one, the middle black one with the little daisies with the big daisies, because this one is just a little bit bigger in the way that it is shaped. It may not be, one of these apparently is not completely squared. So we will try to square it up as we go. Now, is this going to be 5 at least? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is. All right. So that will be our last one on this sandwich. All right. So if we want to, we can just go ahead and square that up completely. I'm going to move my whole thing. That way I can still cut with my right hand, but not have to take them apart. All right, so I am lining up with this. See, there's this little cut right here that I didn't catch before. So I'm lining up to make sure I catch that and that I'm totally straight on the grid. All right, and that actually made those a little bit less. I'm gonna take this top one off because this is now like a 1/4 of an inch less than 5 inches wide. So that took that one out, but that's okay, we got plenty. We got plenty. We're gonna rotate it back around and now make this one even. All right, now for our 5 by 5. 5 inches. Oh, my head's not getting in the way. 5 inches all the way across. Every now and then it doesn't catch all the way, which is a good indication that I need to change my blade. All right. Now I have to flip it because I am right-handed. 5 inches going this way, all the way across. Now, I've honestly lost count on how many we've made. But we were only about 1/3 of the way through, so I know we still have plenty more to make. All right, so these are all too little. Leaves us this one lonely one here. Uh-oh, somebody's home. It's going to be less than 5 inches. So you don't need that one. Now we're working with these two. So here we go, 5 inches all the way across. You'll know the drill by now, don't you? Here we go. All right, all that's going to be too small, so we'll set that to the side. You know me, gotta flip it around. Here we go, 5 inches all the way across. It's definitely warmed up outside since I was out last, but it's still gonna be good for chili time. All right, looking good, looking good. That in the trash. All right, see how we're coming. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3, 6, 9. Make that an even 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so there's 20 of our 60. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're halfway. There's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're at 40. 41, 42, 43. We are at 43. We're getting there. We are almost to our 60. All right. So I have this one. It is, I think, the most straight on this corner. So we're going to do it this way. This one is smaller, so it would go on top. Let's see which one is smaller. I think this one is smaller, so we're going to put this one down. Okay. And now this one. Okay, do I have anything else to put on here? Perfect, 5. Okay, so that is our smallest one. We will put it on right there. Let me double check. Or is that the one I pulled off because it was a 1/4 inch small? Short. Yeah, that one needs to be put over here. That's about a 1/4 inch too small now. All right, what about this guy? All right, so even though it's shorter this way than this one, it is longer this way. So I'm going to put it, I actually put it at the bottom. That way we'll know when we use our first set of 5 inches from the bottom that that part will just be cut off. Unusable for this project anyway. Okay, here we go. 5 inches from the bottom. All right, I do feel like I need to straighten that up a little bit. I'm going to turn my mat so I can do it from my right hand. All right. Okay, that side's straight, rotate it back around. And straighten up this side. Okay, now 5 inches from the bottom. Square it up. Here we go. Fold this up out of the way. Flip this around so I can work on it with my right hand. And now 5 inches all the way across. Catch. Okay. So those are going to be too small. this one again. It didn't catch all the way down, did it? Okay. Make sure those are lined up again, even with each other. And 5. All right, even though this one little corner is slightly off, you can fold it when you do your the inside. Where's my coaster at? So you fold them, and then you have an inside edge that's going to be the folded edge, and then there's some that are tucked up under here, so you won't ever see them. So if it's just slightly off on one end, that is fine for this project. Not a problem. All right, so we were at, where we're at. $43, I believe is where we were at, 43. Here's my 3. 43. Not that one. 43, 44, 45. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right, we're getting so close to our 60. All right, we got 1, 2, 3. All right, 53. That's where we are right now. All right, so this one you can already tell is off. So we are going to take it out. Go back to these and do another 5. Okay, so I can already tell from here that this bottom one doesn't meet the 5 except for this tip. So I can go ahead and take it back off. All right, so what about now? All those are 5 all the way across. Oh, no, that's 4. Here we go. Okay, so we're slightly off on this end, but it's going to be okay because that part can hide under when we do the project. It'll be fun. All right, so now 5 all the way across. We're at 53, 54, 55, because I only have 2 layers right now. 55. 56, 57. Those are too little. All right, let's see if I can do anything with this. All right. So 58. All right, how about this purple? We have enough to make a little out of it or not? Sure we do. All right, I believe that was 60. All right, so now if you wanted to match them in like colors, where you could do all your lights together and then do all your darks together, you could do that. Or you could mix them up to where there's no rhyme or reason. It's just whatever works out for what your tastes are, however you like it to be. But you just need 6 for each project. So it could be totally different from each other, or you could use it where it's like this one, where it's all the same family. They've all got purples in it, right? And so you can do this where they all have blacks in them. So this one and this one. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, we already got that one. Let's try to do something different. 4. I don't know if I have enough differences or not. Let's see. So you can use those for your top layers and then pick one for your inner layer and one for your bottom, the bottom of your coaster. Maybe do this one for the bottom. And so that could be one of your coasters. So it would end up looking like this, and then this. And I'm not going to press anything because I'm just giving you a short demo of how to assemble it. You would have your batting in the middle here. So you would have to cut those still. And those are 4x4. So layer that there. Remember, it folds inside. Fold on the inside. Have your edges, raw edges matched up. And last one. Okay, and then you're going to flip it back over on itself. Pick this one up, flip it over, put this one down, and that one back over so that they have 4 different ones on top. And then you would sew it and flip it, and then top sew it again. Again, there's already a video on how to do it, so go back and look at that on the exact process of how to. But this just shows you how it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, but it can have a similar color and go with that. I hope this was a lot of help. Thanks for following along. Let me know in comments if you have anything particular you want to learn about. But next video coming up is the next step in making the mini backpack. All right, see you later. Happy sewing.